wireless network. We'll start now. Okay, so today's session is wireless network access, and we are going to know about wireless devices, how to configure it, and know what the advantages and disadvantages of wireless, and how to secure our network, and how to configure it. Okay, so let's see first about wireless advantages. What are the advantages of wireless network? First of all, in wireless, you see there would be no wires required. First of all, right? So you know not to connect any cables wherever you are sitting or you have any computer located. So you know to stretch any kind of cable and connect, right? So first of all, there's no wires required. And of course, if it's for temporary use, it's a very good option. Like if it's we need to use for temporary basis, of course, it's the best choice. Like you know to connect cable or do kind of cabling, right? Those all are not required. Okay. So, and as a tool, like it's good when you could not lay cables, you could not put cables wherever you're connected. So it's a good choice again. Okay. And actually, it's sometimes it's expensive also while laying out the cables wherever you're connected. Like if you have a first floor or second floor or third floor. So simply we not spend time or we not spend money on cabling, but we can have the access point or wireless devices that would enable us to connect in different floors of a building. Okay. So these are the actually advantages. But again, there are few disadvantages also along with advantages. Okay. So sorry, hazard. Where did you see that hazard? Okay, no trip hazards. Like they won't have any kind of issues with cabling and all. Okay, so that's what it means. Like no wires, no trip hazards. Okay, and again, like disadvantages with wireless network. First of all, actually, it suffers from poor signal. It will have actually less signal or less. Sometimes it suffers if we come across a few walls or few buildings and everything. So there actually the strength actually decreases at that moment. So first of all, we can say sometimes it's you can actually experience poor signal. Okay, so it can cause low performance and loss of service sometimes. So sometimes actually compared to a wired network or cable network, or it actually used have a slower performance. Of course, it will have less speed compared to a wired network always. Okay, or we have to spend more on making it more faster. If you're having if you want to keep the more bandwidth, then we'll have to spend more on it. But cable, it would be fixed and it will have consistent network. Okay, bandwidth and all would be consistent. Fine. Or sometimes if it's any kind of device is so far from access point, then it will be like also it will have a poor connection. Of course, like access point is the one will know how what is access point. So access point is the one actually through which our router reacts the first floor, and we would need access point if we are connecting the third floor of the building, then we need access point there. Okay, I'll just draw a diagram for you guys in that case to make you understand more. Fine. So just understand here, like if we have if we if we are in different floors, like in the buildings, okay, and this is first floor, understand, this is second, and this is third floor, and all my router and everything is over here. Okay, you understand, router switches and everything is here. Then and somebody who need access, few users need access over here in the third floor. Okay, few users may need access over here, like they there are few users understand like this. Okay, so of course the bandwidth which is going from here would be slow actually. Okay, bandwidth would be a bit slow. Fine. So what I can do here in third floor is I can keep an access point over here, and through this access point This would be access point understand, and here it will actually make this strength more strength would be more actually for the wireless network. It will be more stronger. So this access point actually enables us it will connect directly to this, and it will broadcast over here. It will give the same kind of signal, or strength will be more stronger here. Okay, when it's connected in this floor, this area. Okay. So access point is used to actually make the signal strength more, and in that area, in that locality or nearby surroundings, it will be making the accessibility more stronger. Okay, so access point is used for that purpose. Fine. So we'll know about access point later on in this session. Okay, fine. Just for your idea, like why access point is used and everything. Fine. So fine, and there could be interference from other devices too. Like there, if any kind of Bluetooth devices are there in nearby surroundings. So this, as I told, there is a disadvantage that sense. Like it may interfere with our network or the Bluetooth devices or any kind of other devices are there. Then it may actually interfere with them. There could be interference. There could be few objects also, like as I told, walls and everything are there. There it could have interference with those also. Okay. And one more disadvantage is like it can be used by anyone if not secured correctly. If we have not got configured correctly, so they can have hacking chances, or they can have actually um, anybody can use it directly. Okay. So one more thing, like as I told, like generally not fast as wired networks. So wired network would be faster, of course, but wireless would be actually slower than the wired networks. Fine. So actually, there are few standards that has been defined for wireless network, and we know more about that. What are the standards that has been defined for wireless network? Okay, so standard is 802.11a, and actually that range has got 5 gigahertz, and speed would be 54 actually megabytes. Okay, megabits actually. I'm sorry for that. It's megabits, and it will be small range, and it could be easily observed. The actually the advantage for this is it would be easily observed, but the range would be actually smaller. It will not have be in a large range. It would be in a small range only. Fine. And there's one more standard for this, like 802.11b, and the range is actually slower here. It's 2.4 gigahertz. But the speed is also slower, you can see, and it conflicts with Bluetooth device and cordless phones also. So it's not that I could say recommended again. And again on 802.11g, it has got the same kind of range, and the speed is more, but again it has got this one conflict with Bluetooth and cordless phones also. Okay, but 802.11n is has got better specifications, like it has got 5 gigahertz and 2.4 also, but speed is too much here. Speed is 600 megabits. Okay, and it uses actually MIMO, that's multiple interface multiple output. Okay, so you might have seen few antennas that having two, I'm sorry, you might have seen few devices having two antennas or something, right? So that is actually, you can say that those are kind of MIMO example. So we have these security protocols. Those all are used like WEP. That's the actually that is a very weak encryption kind of thing. So basically, we do not prefer or do not recommend to use WEP. But WPA comes with personal enterprise, and this is actually somewhat stronger than. I mean, this has got better encryption and better to use. This is more recommended, and WPA 2 again. So this comes a personal enterprise network, and A02.1x can be used for wired. So basically these WPA, we basically see WPA that is used more. Fine. So you can see my computer, it has got few wireless network. Do you see Digisol and Mimi? These are SSIDs. Okay. So the network name, the name which we have actually set, these are called SSIDs. Fine. And if you just hope over this, it says the protocol which has been used, the security type that has been used, WPA2, and the radio type is 802.11n has been used here, right? So that is got that we saw at the previous slide, like it 802.11n, and that has got a very good speed, 600 megabits, and it has got also range of 5 or 2.4 gigahertz, right? So my network is this. You can see my wireless network here, and Digisol, it says that its extent signal strength is excellent, and the security type that is used is WPA2 PSK, and again, the radio type is 802.11n, right? And SSID name has. Can you see the SSID name here? SSID name is Digisol. Fine. So we are going to learn how to connect our Wi-Fi router and then how to configure it. Fine. So on back of the router, on the underneath the router, you might be having a user ID in the password that you need to use for the first time. Okay. So this is a by default that comes actually printed on underneath the router. When we buy a router from the market, you will see underneath the router on the back side actually, you can see the user ID and the password that has been mentioned. Okay. Sometimes it used to be by default, or it may have a different ID and password. Okay. So let me cross check my ID password. It's not getting connected. Give me a moment. It was just that it's not supported on actually you can say Chrome. So that's the reason sometimes we need to use another browser. Fine, Suji. So I've just connected through Internet Explorer, and I've connected to my router. And as I told, it would be on the back of side of your router. There would be ID, I mean the IP and the username password we mentioned through which you can connect. So I've just connected to my router, and I can see all these settings right now which are available. Fine. So first of all, I can see like the product name what's there, and LAN configuration. The IP that has been set to this router is 192.168.2.1, and this is a subnet mask that is being used, and MAC address of this router that shows us, right? And in wireless LAN configuration, it says as it's enabled. Wireless is enabled and mode is access point. SSID name that I have set is Digisol, and the encryption protocol that is used is WPA, WPA2 mixed both. And broadcast SSID enabled, WPS is enabled. Um, and also like the DHCP protocol also enabled. So any device that connects, it will get the IP address automatically. Fine. So I'll see more like what are the options we can configure over here in a wireless. Okay. So what actually we are going to do is we are going to see how to configure it. First of all, we need to go to the tab wireless, and actually this we are using as access point. So somebody can access to this. We are using this router as access point. I just told anybody can. This is a small router. This is not from Cisco or some advanced router, but it's small router just for internet access. So this is this acts as an access point. Okay. So I'm doing keeping it mode as the access point only. I'm not going to use any other modes. I'm going to use an access point right now. But we do have another other modes that we can use. As we can use a client, so load receive. But those I'm not going to use in my environment here. Basically, you're going to use access point. So some all other devices can connect to this. Fine. And as I enable SSID broadcast, so SSID broadcast will do is like it will broadcast my name. It will show my name as Digisol on the if any devices that connects. I mean, if anybody any devices opens their Wi-Fi. I mean, just they switch on their Wi-Fi and it will pop up like my SSID. Digisol will be listed in their Wi-Fi networks. Okay. So if I want to disable, I can disable this so somebody could not see my network itself. I mean, nobody can see my network. If I uncheck this box, people would not be able to see in wireless networks. My network will Digisol. The SSID name which I have set here is Digisol, and this would not be seen as you know that I've shown you earlier. Like the networks which are Digisol is the one I'm connected. This network itself which I have got connected, and this is appearing here. You can see this is appearing a Digisol here, right? And Mimi is another network. I don't know, somebody might be nearby around. It's it's in the same range, so it's able to show me which kind of other networks are available. So but I'm connected to Digisol and it's showing up me. Even Mimi or other networks might not be visible because they might have unchecked this box. There are few other networks, but it's visible here because they have checked this box. If I uncheck, it might not be visible. I have to do it manually. I have to connect to the SSID manually. Fine. And the mode it uses 802.11 BZN. These many categories are there, but I'm using this BZN thing. Okay. And it has got channel 6. Not sure what channel 6 says here. Current channel 6, but our bandwidth is auto 20 and 40. But again, security options which we are using is WPA, PSK, WPA2, PSK, AES. We are using this. Fine. And one more thing, like whenever anybody wants to connect to my Wi-Fi network, they need to have this. Actually, they need to type this password. I've set this password actually. Targets at 123. Fine. So I can change my password over here. So anybody, whoever wants to connect to this, they need to actually change this. I mean, to apply this password, they need to set this password first. Next time, whenever they connect, they would be able to connect automatically. But first time, any devices that connect the laptop or a mobile, anything that is connecting, they need to type this password. Fine. Any confusion you guys have? But basically, as I told, the security option that we are going to use, basically we should use WPA2 or WPA with PSK and all these. Fine. So these all again comes under networking, and I hope Siva might be. I'll ask him to teach you guys what are these protocols actually, what are the features and all of them. So, but I just want to show you guys when you're configuring at your home. This might be very much important to know. And if you need to configure a router for access, using it as an access point, fine. So you just need to do as I told you to have a cross cable with you and connect the router to your PC directly or laptop directly, and on the backside of your router you may have the IP address through which you need to just type http:// and this IP address, and enter. It will pop up with the username password, and the username password has been also mentioned there, and that username password need to log in with, and then you'll have this screen. Okay. So you can see at the home page, like these all what are configurations do you have? Sometimes the initial stage might not have any kind of configuration. Fine. Any questions you guys have? GeoFi has got same configuration. So you have already tried it. It means right. So yeah, great. It's a good thing then. So you're already aware of this thing.